Hey guys, subscribe for daily content. And if you're shopping for gear, make sure you check out the description for the newest items at some of the very best online retailers. There's also links for some of the items that I personally recommend. Thanks.
What's going on, YouTube? Metal Complex here, and today I've got another interesting knife review / knife overview to show you guys, and buckle up. It's going to be a bumpy ride, literally. This is the PMP Alpha Smilodon. Gosh, it's huge. We're doing both in the same review. One is in titanium and 14C28N. Weird. And the other one is in G10 with steel liners and 14C28N. Wow, this is a huge knife. These knives are available. I will link them down in the description. It does help my channel when you use those links, but that's up to you. Thanks to my patrons for supporting me. Let's start off here with some specs. Let's do the titanium one first. This is obviously a big knife. 9.625 inches, 3.75 inch blade, and a blade stock thickness of nearly a 1/4 inch. Wow. This thing weighs 9.49 ounces. These are made in China, by the way. Now let's take a look actually at the specs for the G10 version. Everything's the same except for the weight is 11.46 ounces due to the very heavy steel liners there. Obviously, the handle material is G10 on this guy, and this guy is also going to be a little bit less expensive. Let's go ahead and do some size comparisons real quick, just up against knives that are kind of comparable. I don't keep a lot of 9.5 inch knives around, so up against something like the 8010 from Cold Steel and the CGRB large pyrite, this is a freaking huge knife. I mean, it's huge, absolutely massive, especially the G10 version. And for some people, that's the charm, right? I get it. I totally get it. I like overbuilt knives as well. Let's go ahead and do a hardware check. My tools are really inexpensive and very recommendable. You can find them down in the section of my description that talks about the tools I use in this channel, as well as the pinned comment. So I believe all of the screws are T8 on the G10 version. Yeah, T8 are the pocket clip screws. Yes. Now let's check the titanium one. I couldn't imagine. Yeah, these are all exactly the same. Same pocket clip screws the same. Okay, it's all definitely exactly the same. There is a difference in the overall thickness of the object too. Like it's definitely thick either way, but this guy is way thicker, red and black on the G10 here, and then this guy's got like the translucent scale. It's also got a different pocket clip. They both suck, but we'll talk about that here. But yeah, I just wanted to let you guys take a look at the actual differences here. And then obviously this guy's a titanium frame lock, and this guy's going to be a liner lock. So yeah, that's what you're looking at here. Let's go ahead and move into the actual review. Okay, so here are the categories we're going to be judging this knife on, and I'll try and be as objective as possible. I'm a human being, so I can't be perfectly objective, but I'll do my best. There are also the possible grades there, if I didn't mention that. At the end, I'll do a separate, completely and totally subjective sort of metal complex score, like my own cool factor score. And you can weigh that in with everything else, or you can totally ignore it. Let's go ahead and move into the categories. Okay, so category 1, ease of manipulation. Like both of these can be deployed. And you pull the flipper tab, right, and it's gonna flip. It's all doable, right? You can do it. As far as like how easy it is versus knives that have been optimized for this, the flipper tab is probably the easiest way to do, way to deploy it. Everything else is a little bit of a chore. Quite a bit of force required to reverse flick it. Not comfortable to disengage. The liner lock's very stiff, a little bit sharp. The frame lock is really sharp. This is really not comfortable to disengage. You can see there. The detent is not perfectly optimized for the flipper tab, but when you try to, reverse flick it or use using your thumb here is impossible. The detent is so heavy that it makes these not fun at all. Like, it's doable, but it's far from what I'd call, easy. Or fun, comfortable, whatever, right? It's not a super duper positive experience. It's not necessarily a negative experience either. Some people I think would holding these, maybe you've got this right now and you're like, I don't know what he's talking about. Maybe you've adapted to it. As somebody who handles a ton of knives, are there knives that are easier, more convenient, and more satisfying to manipulate? Oh my God, thousands. I mean, yeah, absolutely. I'm going to be insanely generous here. I'm being a little overdramatic. I'm just going to give it a C. It's okay. It's not, it's far from impossible, right? But it's not good and definitely not great. I'm going to give it a C. Moving on here to blade practicality. Well, it's freaking huge. It's got a tip. It's got an edge. It'll cut, right? Plunge grind, that's definitely going to make some people mad. Absolutely, right? You would think the premium version of this with titanium would be M390. Nope. It's just 14C28N, which is not a bad steel at all. But the blade is very thick on the spine, 230, nearly a quarter inch, and it is pretty thick behind the edge. This is an aggressive ledge. So when you cut things, it's going to get hung up here. Like, that's what's going to happen. So again, it will function. And it's not bad, but it's also a long ways from good. It's just gigantic. Like, it's not what I would call practical. Like the average practical blade for the average person. Like, again, you could probably throw some ultra specialized task at this that is not indicative of the average user's experience and grade it differently. But that's not beneficial for the average user. The average user is going to use this like a regular pocket knife. And as a regular pocket knife, this is far from practical. So again, I can't really say it's bad, but it's not good. I'm just going to give it a C again. I feel like that's being a little bit generous there, for sure. Comfort in the hand and pocket. Oh boy. The most comfortable one is this guy. And that pocket clip directly on top of this pretty aggressive frag texturing, this pinchy ball. Yeah, first of all, it's huge. Like, the carry profile of this thing is big. If you absolutely love carrying big pocket knives, and maybe you would grade this differently, and that's perfectly fine. In and out of the pocket with this is kind of a nightmarish, it's really dramatic. It's very frustrating. It's incredibly pinchy, and this is going to act like a cheese grater on your pocket. It's huge. I am constantly aware that this is in my pocket, right? Holding the knife, it's okay. It's maybe like kind of like, ooh, yeah, you kind of get that like, ooh, big knife kind of feeling, right? It's not bad. There's a couple little hot spots in here. It's a little sharp, right? I can feel the pocket clip. Oh my goodness, right? Yeah, for sure. Disengaging it, super sharp on the titanium one. Now, on the G10 one, not quite as bad on disengagement. But everything else is worse. It's even worse. This clip sucks even more. And it's on top of an even more aggressive texturing. And it's even thicker and heavier. I do not like carrying this knife. I don't like it. Some of you might think that this is harsh. But all the way around, like, I can't see any other way to give this category as far as comfort. I can't give it anything better than a D. This is the first D that I've ever given out. As far as the new style review, this is bad, definitely, and I think most people would agree. It's not quite an F. Like, it would be just as rare for me to give out an F for terrible as it would be for me to give out an S for spectacular. I mean, that would be a rare grade. Most of the grading on this channel is going to fall between D and A. And honestly, most of the time, it's probably going to fall between C and A, because I generally don't even accept things that I think I'm not going to like, right? And most of the time, I'm right. But yeah, these are solid D's as far as comfort. It's almost comical, right? It's just not comfortable at all. Reliability. So these are frame locks. This is category 4, by the way, for reliability. Frame lock and liner lock. No different than any other frame lock or liner lock that's had the proper geometry, right? I grade these always as a B+. There are more reliable locking systems out there, but these are not bad. In fact, they're pretty good. B+ is fair. Liner locks, when they're done right, they are good. They don't need to survive, a train accident in order to be considered a reasonably good locking system. They don't need to baton or anything like that. No, they just need to lock the knife out while you're using it during a normal knife task or for a normal knife task, right? Same with frame locks. B+. Nothing wrong with the locking system. We're not judging it on comfort. We're judging it on reliability. And the locking system, when I should mention, when we talk about reliability, like when it comes to a folding knife, that's the majority of what makes it reliable, right? I mean, there are some other micro elements, but a lot of those other micro elements are covered in other categories. So yeah, reliability, when we boil it down to the locking system, B+. That's where I'm going to give it. Moving on here into category 5, overall quality. Nothing here is bad. And in fact, it's definitely better than okay. This is a Chinese production knife, and I kind of have my expectations for knives that are, made out of these materials in this general tier. I mean, it's obviously made by machine. This one came slightly off-centered. It's a little bit to the right, and I couldn't adjust it with a pivot, which means I need to adjust the body screws and do the full scale adjustment or the full body adjustment. This one came centered, right? So that's fine. The machining is all fine, right? There's nothing great or spectacular going on here, but it's all fine. Like everything lines up, right? It's pretty much like par for the course. The action a little bit like the pivot action. It's a little like I can feel it. It's fine, like it'll function, but it's not like a glassy smooth or anything like that. And same with it's actually even more so with this guy. There's no lockup issues. There's no pivot lash or anything like that. The detent's good. All this is fine, right? So it's better than okay, just barely. Got to count it off a little bit for the centering issue on the one knife and just not having a super great feeling pivot action. Functional, but not super great feeling. So I'm going to give it a B- as far as overall quality. Value versus the competition. I got my hands on these because of Tools for Gents. Now, obviously, you're going to pay a little more there because they're shipping from Europe. So right off the bat, like that, you're going to have to pay more. Some of the stuff on Tools for Gents, in fact, a lot of it is absolutely worth it because you can only get it there, right? So if you live in the United States, yeah, definitely, that's a cool place, right? You're gonna have to pay a little extra sometimes, but that's where it's coming from, right? So you can also pick these up at DLT Trading. Are the prices a little better? Yeah. Are they good? Oh my God, no. No. So this is 14C28N and G10, and listen, I know it's a big knife, right? $99 for this on DLT. If I was going to judge value versus the competition, I'll give this smaller one a little bit of a break, or not the smaller one, but the one with the lesser materials. Like it is big and it's a lot of materials, right? There's plenty of G10 and 14C28N knives on the market for like, $50. This is at least double the material there, so that there's a lot, but it doesn't feel like a great value. I would maybe, like if I was scoring just this one, I'd give it like a C or a C-. The problem is the titanium one. How much is the titanium one? It's $250. For what? Assuming that the G10 and 14C28N one has a good price, we're paying at least $150 more for just the fact that it is titanium. I don't like that. No. And that's the thing. That is a pretty typical markup for titanium, but you also get usually a more premium blade steel. For $250, it better be M390. And honestly, if it was, it would probably be more than $250. But this is a weird combination. I don't know who this is for. It's not good at all. It's really bad. Really, really bad. So I'm gonna, maybe you think I'm harsh for this. I'm gonna go ahead and just say it's a D. It's bad. The value's bad. I don't understand. They must be surely, that we've got some parameters here that are making it a little tight. But I also feel like it can't be, a lot of people are just gonna scream tariffs into the sky. Okay, well, clearly it's not affecting all Chinese companies the same way. So there's more elements here. So whatever, but I'm still going to judge this the way that my gut tells me to judge it, considering I'm constantly handling new things from other companies that seem far more appropriately priced, and even when they are working with the same or similar materials, right? There's just too much out there to tell me, no, this doesn't make, I don't care what the reasoning was. It's just not a good value. D. Moving on here to the completely and totally subjective metal complex score. I do like myself a big old chunky overbuilt knife. And if we're going to keep the price out of this part, just go with my gut, like how cool do I think it is? Yeah, it's pretty cool. It's a pretty big knife. Now, that doesn't mean that I recommend it, right? I mean, but if I were to walk by and pick this up from like a knife show table, I'd be like, oh yeah, kind of neat, you know? Not anything that makes me want to go out and, buy it, but it's just like a big fun. But I like overbuilt knives. Like, this is the biased part. It's why I separate it from the review. I like the big, chunky, crazy overbuilt knives. It gives me puts a smile on my face. Not something I feel like I need to buy, but I'll give it a B-, my own little, enthusiast collector score. Not anything that I, would rate any higher than that. So yeah, let's go ahead and look at the final scorecard. Okay, so we have C, C, D, B+, B-, D. If this was my kid's report card, I would be like, we got some freaking work to do, for sure. This is, as of right now, I haven't done this new review style for very long, and I'm still kind of smoothing it out. This is the worst scorecard I've given out. If I'm just being as objective as I can, it's just not good. Now, listen, if you don't care about category 3 comfort and you don't care about category 6 value, those are two pretty big categories. If you don't care about those two, then it did all right. It did fairly decent. But those are, for me, like, those are two major, especially the value one. Jeez. Like, you gotta overpay for something that is in no universe a comfortable thing. It's just not a satisfying knife. It's not something that I want to burden. That's what it is. It's a burden. Physically and financially, it is a burden. So it should come as no surprise. I do not recommend this knife at all unless you just have so much expendable income and you were just like, oh my God, it's my favorite shape. I love knives that look like, somebody did a genetic experiment on the Koenig Arius and it exposed it to gamma radiation, then yeah, oh my gosh, if I got a knife for you, like, here it is. But geez, for literally everybody else, which is, I have to assume, like, almost everyone on the planet, this is not for you. I mean, please shop in any other direction. No, not recommendable. So, but a little bit of, you pick this knife up, it's a big knife. Put a little smile on your face until you see the price tag, and then you go, ooh, ew, no. That's going to be it, guys. Please make sure to follow me on Instagram at metal_complex. If you enjoyed this video, leave a like. If you'd like to check out my other content, I do, of course, have lots of videos of knives that are either expensive or inexpensive that I do or don't like, so check those out. And if you enjoy all my content, go ahead and click on that Metal Complex logo right there and subscribe, because there's definitely more coming. Thanks again for watching, everybody, and have a great day.